Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy show. My name is Hassani, and it's good to see each and every one of you here this morning. It is Tuesday. We're talking about a continuation of our conversation from yesterday, the long-term psychological effects of infidelity, what it has on you, what it has on your spouse, what it has on the children, how all people are affected, and what we need to do and how we need to overcome this thing. And so we had a great conversation yesterday. We're going to continue it today. But before we get into today's conversation, just a quick announcement. This Friday is our last chance weekend. We have a few couples flying in from all over the country to be with us because they're ready to experience some serious transformation in their marriage. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're on the verge of divorce. Maybe you are in a position that you don't want to be in and you're looking for help and you just don't know what to do. Well, reach out to us at couplesacademy.org. Let's set up a discovery call to see how we can serve you with a spirit of excellence. Listen, also on the horizon, you've heard us talk about it. More details will be coming. The Phoenix Awards Gala, that is October the 7th. We're really excited about that. More information will be coming. And what we're going to do before we get into today's conversation, we're going to go to a quick video just unpacking what the gala is because it's something that we're excited about. So take a look at this and we'll be right back.
Hey family, Hassani and Danielle here, and I want to tell you about the Phoenix Awards Gala happening on October 7th, 2023. Couples Academy is hosting its first annual Phoenix Awards Gala, a celebration of perseverance, patience, and persistence, focused on couples who have endured and overcome significant hardships in their marriages.
Nominees of this prestigious award will have come to the brink of destruction in their marriage without giving up, and are living a testimony to what is possible when two stand as one.
This is no ordinary gala. We are honoring 5 of the most resilient couples across the U.S. and abroad. And here's the most exciting part. You get to pick our nominees. And there's more. Wear your most exquisite gowns and black tie ensembles and prepare for a 50-foot red carpet, cocktail reception, dinner, live music, and dancing. We're going to raise the roof and the standard for marriages on October 7th, and we want you to be there.
For tickets, go to couplesacademy.org/events. Who do you know? Who do you know that is worthy of such an award, right? They've been through hardships and difficulties and challenges, and like the phoenix, they have risen from the ashes. They're living to tell the story. We know so many people who've been through pain, and their relationships did not end well, but there's so many more that we can, if we really put our mind to it, that have become beacons of light, that have become sources of inspiration. And that's the reason why we're still together, because it was that one couple. If it wasn't for that couple, see, because what happens is peer pressure is real. And there was this one couple who had such an amazing relationship, and they lived it to the full. And they put the pressure on us to rise up from the ashes when we were going through. And if it wasn't for their example, I don't know where we would be today. And so we all may have that couple, and here's your opportunity to acknowledge and to honor them. So go to the website and put in a nomination, and let's see where this goes, because with all the things that we're celebrating in the world, wouldn't marriage, God's first institution, the foundation, the crux, the core of all civilization, be the very thing that we should be honoring? The Bible says that marriage is honorable by all, and the bed is undefiled. So let's honor marriage. That's what we're doing October the 7th for our first annual Phoenix Awards Gala. All right. So listen, guys, we're talking about this topic, long-term psychological effects of cheating. Just to do a quick recap, we were talking about how there are natural consequences associated with an affair, even though God does forgive, and relationships can be restored without a shadow of a doubt. There's a cause and there's an effect. It's called the law of causality. And when you do something, there's going to be a natural consequence, whether good or bad. And a lot of times, these consequences cannot be escaped. We experience the consequence. And whether it hits the marriage hard, there's a blow to the relationship, it's a blow to the trust, it's a blow to the intimacy that you once had. It cripples it. It doesn't destroy it. It just cripples it. And that's one of the consequences. But there's an emotional pain attached to both partners, to be honest with you. In our Instagram post this morning, we were talking about the pain that the unfaithful partner goes through, and how every day in the recovery process, for those who really are remorseful, they have a deep-seated pain because of the pain that they've placed you in. And so shame, guilt, all types of things creep up in their mind, but there's also the wound that the betrayed spouse holds as well. And it's an emotional pain that is hard to just flip a switch or snap a finger and you're back. Then there's the mental anguish that you go through. So it's the mental trauma that many people experience when there is an affair. But what I want to talk about today really is, what impact does it have on the children, the little ones, right? The angels with little feet. Because a lot of times, I don't care what their age is, they can be young. I remember being in an argument with my wife when my daughter was, I think she was 2 or 3. She didn't know what was going on, but she could feel the energy. And I remember she looked up at us with those eyes, and we were like, oh man, here we are on full display in front of this child. And the child is learning lessons, because children learn through observation and participation, but we don't really unpack the pain that they go through. So when a spouse cheats on their partner, it has been said that you're also cheating on your children, you're cheating on your family, because all of them are impacted in a tremendous way. So first things first, your child may side with your spouse, right? Your child may side with a spouse who has been cheated on. There's a trust that they may have for that partner, and a distrust that they now have for you as a result of it. And so this is why when you're going through the recovery process and you're trying to make things better with your spouse, you have to have a same level of effort, right, and focus and intention on restoring the trust that was broken with that child, because they will carry it for quite some time. And then they will show up and treat you in all types of ways. And if the betrayed spouse is now mad at you, the child is going to be mad at you. If the betrayed spouse is disrespecting you, as an allegiance to that parent, the child may try to disrespect you. And we've seen the trickling effect and how it's crushed relationships, parent-child relationships, as a result of a betrayal. They may experience feelings of confusion, okay, anxiety, abandonment, isolation, not unlike the person who was cheated on. So you have to understand, they're not just sympathy pains. Well, because you feel that way, I guess I feel that way too. No, they feel that within themselves, because you're in a phase and in a state of life where there's a lot of uncertainty, right? A lot of confusion. From day to day, you're listening in, eavesdropping, hearing arguments, or maybe they're arguing right in front of you. And so it creates a pressure for the child, because they don't know what their tomorrow may bring. They don't know if all of their dreams are going to be shattered. Think about it. Your child has their own dreams, the things that they want to do. What about their friends? What about their vacations? What about their holidays? All of that is at risk. What about just their emotional security of knowing that they have two loving parents? Because when parents are not connected, when parents are not talking, when parents are going in different ends of the house, there's no more dinner time, there's no more family outings. That puts a lot of question in the mind, a lot of doubt, a lot of fear in the mind of that child. And so some people think, well, they're old enough, they'll get it. I'll just have a conversation with them. They'll get it. Listen, children are impacted no matter what the age. Grown adults with their own children, who are children of parents who go through some type of trauma, even they as grown adults are impacted. So never think that your children are too old. And so you have to understand that when a child is going through this, to have a sideways statement or a quick conversation that addresses the issue and never addresses it again, that can have long-term implications for that child. And so this is why we encourage family therapy. I was just on a discovery call yesterday, and someone asked the question, do you guys do family therapy? Absolutely, because the children need to receive help in healing as well. There was a study that suggested that children with a parent who's had an affair, they have trust issues that they now carry into their adult relationships. Because I know it's possible. I seen what happens. I know how conniving and tricky and deceptive people can be. And so I have now inherited a distrust for others based upon what I've seen or what I saw in my home. Oftentimes we inherit, the feelings, the position, the posture, the behavior, the attitude of the betrayed spouse. And they carry that into our adult relationships. So because mom can never trust dad or dad can never trust mom, guess what? I'm not going to trust nobody. Because if you can do that in a loving relationship, then man, what can you expect from people you're not in a committed relationship with? And that's the pain that they carry. They don't realize that it sabotages their future relationships based upon what they've seen in their existing one. And then another study was done in 2007 that looks at how children oftentimes will imitate or model the behavior of the unfaithful partner. It's interesting because when you're understanding the why of an affair and going through full disclosure, there is a huge percentage of people who witnessed it in their household. And so consciously, they may not be saying, I want to be just like my parent who was unfaithful to my other parent. But what happens is it becomes embedded in a behavior, an attitude, a posture, a disposition, and you see yourself implementing the same behavior. You see yourself mirroring what has been modeled for you. And so this is why you got to think before going down that path, is this thing really worth it? And what is going to be the impact that this is going to have on my children? All right, guys, we're talking about the psychological effects of infidelity on all members of the family. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back. Stay right there. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Hey guys, we're back. You're watching the Couples Academy Show. We're talking about the long-term psychological impact, the effect of infidelity in a marriage, and we've been talking about all these different layers, but we're going to end with the final one. The last thing we just talked about was the impact that it had on the children, but let's talk about the gender difference. I think that's a huge one. When we really understand how infidelity impacts a husband versus a wife, we see something very interesting. There was a study done a couple years ago, and literally 64,000 participants were a part of this study, and they wanted to see how it landed with a husband, how it landed with a wife. And this is what they discovered. I'm going to read what it says. It says, one study that looked at gender differences in response to infidelity found that women tend to be more distressed by emotional affairs, and men tend to become more distressed over physical affairs. I think that is kind of interesting because when it comes to the way that we're wired in terms of our sexuality, it has been said that men are more physical and women are more emotional. And oftentimes in a relationship, when you want to be intimate with your spouse, if they're not feeling you, okay, they're not giving you anything. This is why we always recommend that book, Open Her, when it talks about how you need to penetrate the heart of your wife first. Because if you can penetrate her heart, you can penetrate her body. And so when a man finds out that his wife was physically with another woman, knowing that it takes a whole lot emotionally and mentally, you know, it's a blow. It's a blow to him. Because if you're in a situation where we're not engaging, but you're engaging with him, and you've allowed another man to enter into you, it lands different. Because a lot of times men are very possessive, right? That's my woman. And we try to create a separation and a distance between our woman and all other people because we understand that generally speaking, men are seekers and all they want a lot of times is women physically and nothing else. And so he got what he want. And so therefore the damage that is done mentally and emotionally for that man could be quite great. But then on the flip side, because women are wired emotionally, when a man, if men are just physical and it's all about sex, but then they discover, oh, it was more than sex. See, not that it was okay, not that I agree, not that it's good, but I could deal with it if it was just. But the fact that you gave her your heart, as I'm reading these text messages, as I'm listening to these voicemails, as I'm looking at the bank accounts, as I'm reading these emails, as I'm discovering all of this evidence, as I'm having conversations with her, she's now revealing to me how deep it actually went, how involved it was, how emotionally connected you were. I was looking for emotional intimacy. I was looking for connection. I was looking for companionship, and you did not give it to me. You gave it to her. It was more than just physical. When you say it meant nothing, I didn't love her, I didn't care for her, it was just sex. That's obviously not true. And so when those truths come out, it can be damaging. And so whenever it's a hybrid affair, because for some it is just physical, for others it is just emotional, but when it's a hybrid affair, where it's a mixture of the physical and the emotional, those are the ones that are the most difficult to break away from. And so the impact that it has on a spouse is tremendous. These are the psychological impacts that it has. Now, the reason why they say it's long lasting, because it's not a quick process. And if you think reading a book or going to a seminar or hearing a great sermon or having a daily devotion is enough, you're enjoying a process that's necessary, but that's not the complete process. It's like having ingredients, but you don't have all the ingredients, and you're wondering why you can't make, why you can't bake, why you can't cook this particular recipe the way it's supposed to be done, because you don't have all of the ingredients. And so sometimes you need assistance along the way to get you through this journey, because what could be for some an indefinite amount of time, you can shorten that curve, right? You can collapse time by getting the necessary help that you need. So if you've been in an affair, if you've been the offender or if you've been the betrayed and you're going through pain and your relationship is not where you want it to be, and so the future looks bleak and you vacillated back and forth, teetering on, do I stay, do I go? If children are at risk, if finances are at play, if there's assets and all types of things that could possibly be impacted by the demise of your relationship, if you're looking 5, 10, 15 years into your future, if dreams will never be fulfilled or promises will be broken, and all it takes is making the decision to do something about your now, why put off? Why delay? Why procrastinate? Why continue to be committed to the pain? Because every day that you choose not to get help is a day that you're choosing to hold on and attach yourself to the pain and the misery that you're experiencing. And I'm telling you that you don't have to do that. That does not have to remain your future. Your entire trajectory of your life and your relationship can change if you do something about it. And what was long lasting for others could be short lived for you if you take the next step. And so listen, we hope that you got something after today's conversation. Let it be a source of inspiration and motivation to do something different. Sit down with your spouse. Have a conversation, continue to tune in, set up a discovery call, come to a last chance weekend, schedule a private, do something, because anything is better than what you're doing right now. Stop complaining about how things aren't working, but remaining committed to what's not working. As long as you remain committed to it, then you can't complain about it. But when you do something different, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a different result. Insanity is doing the same thing, but expecting something different. But those who are courageous, those who are committed to a process, will do the opposite of what they've always done to get something that they've never had. Listen, guys, you're watching the Couples Academy show. Hope you got something out of today's conversation. Love you, and we will see you tomorrow for another great episode. Take care.